Hello, Ryan Garland. I am your host of the Paradyme Shift. I cannot wait to expose the true inner depths of institutional wealth building and how to dig deep into real estate investing. Hey everybody, Ryan Garland here. As you know, I'm always going to bring the best of the best to the industry right here to our podcast. I'm actually really excited today. I got a buddy of mine. His name is Garin Heslop. Did I say it right?
You got it, baby.
I got it.
Yeah.
And we actually met in Tulum. And we just hit it off, man. Became boys. You know, when you have that, you can kind of tell when you're going to have a brotherhood with somebody, you know, and he's not really in our space here, guys. And as you know, my podcast is really catered around some personal stuff, a lot of business stuff in regards to real estate and investing and what have you. But I wanted to bring on what I think is very relevant with an industry that not everybody's really talking about at the moment because it's so innovative and there's a ton of money going into it, which is AI. And Garin is going to give you a full update and background and full overview of what he's created, but it's Ginergy AI, correct? Ginergy AI.
Yeah. Ginergy AI. It's like synergy, but gratitude and energy and just bringing a whole new face to what it really means to connect.
Love it. So we're going to go right into it, man. Let's kind of go into what your vision is for this company. And as you guys can know, I want you guys to know is this is a startup. So he's really looking to raise some capital. So if any of you guys see value in this, feel free to reach out to him. We'll give you all of his information here at the end. But yeah, this is important because I see the value in it, hence him being here on the podcast. I may want to get him more acclimated into more of the executive team here with the company. And I think that's important because it's always about getting better, sharper, leaner, managing people, managing processes, and then anything we can do to just kind of mitigate the stress and overhead, man, is really all I can do. Bring it to the forefront too. So Garin, let's talk about your vision, man. Dive in.
Yeah, I appreciate that. One, I'm just grateful to be here with you. What you talk about is energy. And when you sync with people and it becomes that magnetic, you definitely want to invest into that and spend time there. And that's why I'm here, because I respect you and your vision and mission. And you just see how the people around you are drawn to you because you are who you say you are, you embody that, and you can't fake that.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
It means a lot to me. You know, that's all I want to do is try to be authentic. That mask down, my last few podcasts is just kind of keeping that mask down. And that's what when I read your pitch deck, I saw what you're trying to do for people. You're trying to help them not deal with the stresses of life and manage their personal life and their business life kind of cohesively and allow them to really be able to touch on the things that they really want for their families and for their lives, you know, and that's again, why I want you to talk about your vision. So I really appreciate that kind words.
So what I have envisioned is, why does technology have to make us so unhuman? Why does it have to draw everything from us? I don't know about you, but I got 20 tabs that are open. I got 30 apps. Everything's everywhere else fragmented. And it takes all my time and energy just to try to keep up with what's going on through the day because everything moves so quickly. Yeah. As human beings, we weren't meant to be moving that quickly. But now as technology is emerging, and I went through this really dark time in my life, managing 100 employees through COVID in a short period of time, going through the death of my grandma, a divorce, and then the death of my dad, who raised me by himself. And that was my hero growing up.
Wait, hold on. I didn't know your father raised you.
Yeah.
So he was a single father?
Single father, yeah.
My father was too.
Yeah.
My father raised me since I was 6 months old. I didn't know. What we did find out today is you and I are based the same exact age.
Exactly, bro.
Hence the brotherhood, bro. Yeah, this keeps happening.
It's funny because you like have. I think there's a different understanding of the world and values when you go through that adversity. And my dad was my hero because like he basically had to kidnap me when I was about 5 years old because fortunately my mom, and I have a good relationship with her now, but she was on meth and she was addicted to drugs. And like I would come home from kindergarten off the bus. I'd come home, be raining up in Washington, freezing cold, and nobody would be home. I'd be locked outside from, 3 o'clock to 4, 5, 6, all the way to midnight. And child services would be called, my neighbors, but it was taking too long. So finally my dad had to go kidnap me, basically, take me to my grandparents. So my grandma, she was like my mom growing up because she took care of me. And then my dad, one of the best things he did was put me in sports. And what I realized in sports is like that pain, that adversity that I went through ended up becoming my superpower because I was very comfortable being uncomfortable, being in a place that other people couldn't operate in. It didn't matter who you were, where you're from, who your parents are. when we step on that field,
It's game time.
Yeah, it's me versus you, and there's no hiding.
Yeah.
And I love that. So football, wrestling, basketball,
you,
track, I played all that. But football and wrestling, I love that one-on-one, you know, like.
Well, I could see in your eyes the passion you have your father. You know, it's crazy. You just got done meeting my father 5 minutes ago.
And your dad is awesome. Like, that's why I have so much respect for him.
Dude, even the cleaner here at the gym was like, dude, I love your dad. He's my new dad.
First thing he does, he walks in, he's like, hey, there's this leak over here. We got to get that fixed. There's what's going on over here? Yeah. Like, hey, there's people drinking water. Like, he's a OG
Karen,
looking Yeah.
He really is. He's the Karen.
He's going to make sure you're good, bro. Yep. Yeah.
You know, and I couldn't imagine, just kind of, we went off topic, but I want to just touch on this. You know, I couldn't imagine losing my father, dude. And I want you to, I know we're totally off topic, but I want you to share the story you just shared with me at dinner. So I know. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I'll share.
I didn't mean to drag you into it, but I do want I do want the audience to know that there's actually a true, real meaning behind what you've built. And that is, and it's crazy. These are just stories I just found out about you. I had you come out. We planned this. And I knew all these other things about you. And we hit it off when we were in Tulum. And as you guys all know, Joe's here as we speak. And you and Joe hit it off, which is funny because his wife thinks you guys look alike. He's like, I don't know, man. It's awesome. He's like, are you guys like best friends now? Because you guys look alike. It's great. But
he's great.
So share with me a little bit about that story with your dad.
Yeah, and you got a great team too. So, you know, my dad, man, he was that rock for me. And, you know, unfortunately, when I was going through the hardest time of my life of, you know, managing those 100 employees through COVID, and then my grandma, that was like my mom growing up, and then my family didn't want me to see her because I was in the mix during COVID. And so that created some friction. And then when my grandma died, it started a divorce because me and my ex-wife, we're at different
So you went through
places.
a divorce, you lost your grandma, which was like your mother, and you lost your father.
Yeah, so after my divorce, I was like, I'll spend more time with my dad. You know, I need to get back to those roots. And literally 3 months later, then my dad passed away.
Oh, dude. But tell me, I want you to say the exact story you told me at dinner.
So it was about 2:30 a.m. in the morning, and I'm sleeping, and all of a sudden I wake up and I'm gasping for breath. Literally gasping for breath. And all of a sudden I just feel this like incredible energy being pulled out of my body, like just pulling out, like just like life is leaving my body.
You felt his soul, basically.
Felt his soul, like literally felt his soul, and it just pulled out. And then it was like, it came back, and then I just felt this, like, as I like caught my breath again and I just knew.
Well, it's crazy that feeling, because it's probably the only feeling you've ever felt that way.
Oh,
all of a sudden you thought of your father, like randomly.
It no, it wasn't even like a thought. It was like, that was my dad, like visiting me. Like I felt what he felt dying.
And you guys were not in the same house.
No, he was in Washington State, and I'm down in San Diego.
Yeah.
And so pulled off. So I'm immediately calling my dad, texting my dad, no answer. And my dad lived by himself. He was kind of, you know, that way. And sometimes he wouldn't answer the phone, so I called my cousin. And I'm like, hey, will you go check on my dad? I just have this feeling. And she's like, oh, don't worry about it. You know how your dad. I was like, no, this is different. So she sent her husband up. He went and checked on it. And I was just waiting for the call. I already knew, but he called me. He's like, hey, I don't know how to tell you this. I'm sorry, but your dad passed away. And like, that wasn't even a question to me. Like, I knew the moment my dad left this earth in the human, you know, spirit, body, you know, and left, I felt that happen. Yeah. And it just.
So you lost your father. You were going through a divorce. Was it your first divorce, of course? Right?
Yeah.
So,
my first
and you raised children.
Yeah. So she had two children, 2 boys from a previous marriage, 2 and 3. Raised them. When we started our divorce, they're 18 and 20.
But you got to them when they were 2 and 3?
2 and 3, yeah. I coached their football. Like, we had a great relationship.
So in essence, you lost your wife, and you kind of in essence lost kids.
Yeah, and then my dogs, and you know, and then my family,
and your house, and all the fun stuff.
Bro, like literally everything. And then the last thing was my dad. And then I think it was like 3-4 months later, my dog I had since 6 weeks old, and my dog passed away, and It became the hardest part. And then my business is going like this.
Yeah,
it's just
dropping down.
Yeah, because we were doing 14 million a year, and I have, every 2 weeks 265,000 in payroll, and then we go from 1.4 a month to 1.2 to 1.1.
Now you're letting people go you love.
Well,
now
I'm not even letting people go. I don't even know. Like, I'm not even in a place to be able to adjust it. Right? Like, I'm not getting ahead of it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it just starts snowballing. And I'm like trying to get out in front of it and then start letting people go. And then just started this like tailspin of like chasing. And then I just felt like, man, I'm letting everybody in the world down right now. Yeah. Like, I'm letting I felt so much shame.
Yeah, and I know the weight. Yeah.
Yeah, and like, I wasn't able to be there for myself, let alone be there for everybody else. And I think at that point, I think I'm the only one that has ever failed in a business.
Yeah.
Like, I had that business for 14 years, built it up to 8 figures.
Wow.
And very like, it was at a point. And then going through all that adversity, and then COVID, it just shifted. Like, it was so hard to retain employees, to communicate, to like, and what I was doing was highly like, every little variable mattered. And then you try to train people and everything else. And it was a bad environment too, because my ex-wife was our COO. And I still feel for the employees at that time, that my kids, my boys, like, they got the worst of me at that time.
Well, your stress is just creating a character that you don't even know how to manage.
Bro,
I know that feeling too, dude. Yeah.
And then it's like,
no judgment for sure.
And then one day it's again like 2:30 in the morning, and I'm just like, I'm carrying all this.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm done. Like, I don't desire to be on this earth no more. Like, I'm not doing anybody any good. And I'm down in Little Italy, and I'm on the 22nd floor of this building, and I'm going out on my balcony, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna end it. And as I was sitting out there, I felt this wave from God, from my dad, from my grandma, and I just felt like this warmth. And when that happened, what I realized is like, you know what? Fuck that. Because if I'm willing to end my life, I'm not going to end my life. I'm going to end this version of me. This version of me that's living.
That's the life you want to end. Yeah.
With living with fear, with living regret, with living with anxiety.
Shame.
And shame. Shame's the big one. Shame is the biggest one, right? Living with all that, feeling like I can't be me because all I'm doing is letting everybody down. I said, you know what? From this moment forward, every day, right? From this moment forward is now a bonus day, because this Garin is dead.
Yeah.
He jumped. He did. This one, every day I'm living unapologetically me.
So that saying, it says the minute you realize that you have one day, you're not living for the next day, you have one less day.
Yeah.
So every day you should live looking at it, I have one less day after today.
Right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love that. So now we just painted the picture, and you did for me. Okay. Right. So I'm getting a lot out of this. Yeah. What you built, that makes sense. And what's even sexier about all this is the pain within inside, the beauty within the pain.
Right.
And then on top of that, now let's talk about the man you are today. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And what you're building, because now I understand what you're building a whole lot more. I did not know all that. Yeah. I mean, I just knew pretty much look at what you've currently gone through. I know about your divorce and the 2 kids. Yeah. And then I knew about your conversation with your dad. Right. But that was it. But I did not know all of these other things. Yeah. But now I can see how the stars are aligning on what you're building. So it makes complete sense. And you've done this before. You know how to scale. Yeah. And so no wonder you're pulling those days. When a man like you, and that's why I have to give you kudos, because I've seen you. We've been in touch for a long time. And we talk all the time. You have been behind that screen, building and building and building for a while. And I'm proud of you. And that's why you're here. So I want everyone to really see what this thing, basically what he's created. And I think this actually turned in the right point for everyone to understand you better. Yeah. Because I think now how you are integrating AI to help from your business life to your personal life to finances to oversee time management, time blocking, the things that matter to you most, and how you create a system of life to be the best version of yourself, whether it's health, wellness, business, entrepreneurship. And then how that, if you're an owner of a business, how that system can actually pollinate onto all of your employees and help them as well in their health, wellness, marriage, being a better father, or wife or, mother or what have you, but it just helps on everybody. And then we can talk about the real play, which is retention and how much it actually helps people's lives, which is massive for business owners. And so I can see this being $1 billion play. So let's get deeper into the weeds now. But I want to thank you for that story. That's a huge testament. One of my favorite ones I've listened to so far. So I just want, especially with your relationship with your father, because I can connect with that, bro. I couldn't imagine losing my father, dude. He's my rock, And then my oldest son and I have a great relationship, as you met him today too.
Oh, he's amazing.
So, all right. So let's get into the weeds. Let's talk about the fruit here. What did you build?
What I built.
What did you build? I know it's such a loaded question, but let's just start from where we want.
Yeah, no, perfect. It's what I built is a solution to a big problem, a problem that takes your time, problem that takes your energy, the problem that creates a storm. And a lot of us right now are pulled in so many different directions. We can't ever be here where we are. And
can be present.
Cannot. Right. And so presence is a gift that we share with others. And so what my mission has been is, how do I, one, create humans to be able, through technology, to be more human and be able to be present in the human experience? Because what I learned through my journey back and rebuilding myself is, when I started focusing on gratitude, when I started journaling, doing breath work, when I started having a morning routine, evening routine, and having some of these anchor points, that changed everything for me. And then when I was able to look at, okay, I'm seeing this technology that comes out that solves problems from a fragmentation on a business side that has like the productivity apps and all that stuff, but where's it for the human side? And that's not just from Life OS is what I call it, life operating system, but also on the business, because we're looking at business from how do we maximize productivity with our employees, but really what we should be asking ourselves is, how do we optimize human health and well-being so that they can be at their best to then optimize the performance in the business? So for me, it's always taking another click down because there's always like this cause and effect. And so much we think about the cause, but not really where it stems from, like what everybody sees, but not where it's coming from.
Hold on right there. So I want everyone to kind of picture this for a second that's listening to this. How much does your personal life have a direct impact on your productivity at work? Or as an employer, how many fires are you helping your employees put out in their personal life so they can operate at a very high level because of people you love, but you also have a business to run, right?
Right.
So you've created a system that can help everybody in their personal life to be the best version of themselves and the business life. But then you're helping as an employer, you're providing that tool to your employees. Right. Okay, keep going.
So I'll break it down real quick. So on the life side, so whether you're a CEO or whether you're an entry-level employee, you have the life operating system. So what's the life operating system? Well, it's everything in your life that's all in one place, that you have AI, agentic AI built in, that can work with you on whatever it is, but also understands what your vision for your life is, what your goals are. But then instead of it being like, hey, I'm typing into ChatGPT, it's all very curated. Now, when I desire to create a workout plan, it already knows you. It understands it. So it maps out your workout plan just like your favorite app would. And it even shows you the workouts. It curates it. If you're traveling, your nutrition, you have a nutritionist. It builds out your nutrition plan. And you can even take a photo of it. It does the macros, the calories, and it makes suggestions. You're going to a restaurant, whatever it is. But it also, it's backdating everything. So everything's curated. And then your blood work. You have blood work. You can upload it on there. That way it really gets granular on what's going on.
So what people aren't seeing that needs to be a value here, one big point is the health and wellness component from a scalability and looking at your overall health. And that's important. If you're tracking your blood work and you're tracking, just trying to get in front of certain health issues and So let's keep going. Cause you're bolting on insurance plays now.
Right. So then you have your health and you're right. There's insurance plays in there, but then it's like, how does my health correlate to my wealth and where do those intersect and what's my budget for it? And how am I making sure that just because I have this vision, I'm able to, finance it. So it has your whole finances is built in. All your bank accounts we have a partnership through Plaid. All your bank accounts are on there, your savings accounts, your investments account. But not only that, what are your budgets that you're producing? both personally and and I'll get to the business side, but your P&Ls for your life. It automates all of that. So it understands your calendar, your schedule, what your draw is, what your business, your job is, what your goals are that you're working to achieve. Then you go a step deeper, and then we go to our relationships. Well, one of the biggest issues I have is I meet incredible people all the time. And it's like all these relationships are floating out here, but it's like in business, you have a CRM, but we never have anything like that for our personal life.
What's the most common? So, because I know I watch you and who you align with.
Yeah.
You deal with a lot of high net worth people that have a lot of responsibility.
A lot
Probably
of
a good way to put it.
responsibilities, yeah.
From a business perspective, what do you think is the most common issue for high achievers, high level, guys? Groups?
Easy, bro. We're so focused on what the goals are, like, and we get heads down in that zone that the rest of our life kind of dissipates.
Mm-hmm.
And so having something that at least keeps you aware, like that, I do performance coaching as well. That's been part of my journey. And for me, I'm not telling anybody anything. I'm just a mirror.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't be a mirror to everybody and everywhere. And that's another reason I built this is like, I don't want people to go through the same pain I did and feel alone.
Mm-hmm.
This is there with you. It's your best friend. You can be your best friend, your mentor, your nutritionist, your whatever it is that you desire at that moment that you need. It knows you in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And we've trained it in a way where it can help assist you.
It's just like ChatGPT. It's a learning model, Perplexity. When you start pumping your personal stuff in or your business stuff in, it starts learning your business or your personal life. But and now it's a learning model.
One of the biggest difference too is all the data is protected.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of right now with OpenAI and Anthropic, all the different ones, a lot of our data that we're in there, what we don't even realize is that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
With this, we're not selling data, we're not doing anything like that. This is made for that purpose, right? So, and even from the business side to the Life OS side, there's a moat in between there. There's a segmentation in between there for privacy. So
love it.
Employers that provide Life OS, well, people aren't going to use this if they think their employers have access to it. There's a privacy wall in between that in the database through RLS. So,
smart.
Yeah. So they provide that so they feel comfortable with it. But then it goes down all the way down to your relationships, really like a CRM that you can tier different relationships. It'll actually eventually even be able to buy like gifts during their birthdays, like automatically, but it sends you little reminders like, hey, your dad, you haven't reached out to him in 5 days or whatever it is. Like, here's a little reminder to reach out because you've tiered that relationship. I understand the importance of it.
Hey, it's time to book another date night.
Right. Another date night. Yeah. So we understand with our personal relationships, like our wife, girlfriends, whatever, as men, even as women, we get so busy, sometimes that intentionality gets pulled. So this is just
it's a reminder.
Your friend here that is, helping remind you, and it does it automatically. So it understands all the storm of your life, and it brings it all in very clearly. So it's like the noise. It helps you really focus deep into the signal.
You know what I love? I didn't even really this is totally like squirreling you for a second, but I just also kind of thought of something. Let's say, for example, this is kind of a journal.
Yeah, it
right?
is.
You're in essence journaling all the time about things. Well, what it's learning, because it's a learning model, what it's learning is your deepest desires and needs and fears and all the fun stuff. And if you have set goals, it'll then kind of connect to you at your love language in essence and say, hey, you know what? We know that your marriage is the most important thing to you. You have not gone on a date night. I keep using that as an example.
That's perfect.
So I love that. Yeah, that is huge. Hey, I know you want to be a good father and you haven't gone to the last 2 baseball games. It's the most you've ever been lost. Is this the time you've never missed 2 baseball games and you've missed 2 baseball games. Do not miss a third.
It allows you to be in the room.
That's rad. I didn't, because it's just bringing to your attention that your wife doesn't have to do. But it's even better than your wife because it's going to hold you even more.
This is what really matters.
Yeah, like what? Right? Yeah, so it's your learning.
There's
model.
no fluff here. This is what really gets down to the depth of it. That's what it's there to do.
Yeah.
And the more that you utilize it, the better that it gets at that. And it, like you said, it understands truly like what it is that you desire out of life, and it helps work backwards all the way down to, I always go, the way it's built is 10,000 feet down to a single blade of grass, both on your personal and you have actionable that you can do on every single, even reading. The books are in there. They're audio, plus you can watch it and read it, and it highlights it, because that's how I learn. I like to see both, right? So it's read out to you.
Let me ask you this. I know this is so cheesy. I'm totally going on a tangent now,
I love
I'm
it.
falling in love with this.
Yeah.
If I love Ed Milet.
Oh, I love Ed Milet.
And
He's
Ed
a G.
Milet hosts like really cool
Yeah.
Guests.
Yeah, he does.
And if I have people that I follow and he were to host a guest on a podcast, could I set it up where it'll notify me that he had that guest on his podcast, and I would love to listen to it at my free time kind of thing?
Easy.
That's cool.
Yeah,
so you
all
could
that.
literally, I mean, man, all the way down to what's going on in stock market or what's going on in investments, what's going on. It'll just give you live updates on everything that you care about or need to track.
Right. It's like your second mind,
It's your brain.
heart.
It's what you want
Yeah.
overall.
It's not even just your brain, though, how I'm building it, because there's a lot of second brains out there.
Mhm.
It's part of your soul.
Yeah.
Because to me, in your heart, like to me, that's what the human experience is about. A lot of people try to solve stuff from an intellectual
Yeah.
or a productivity standpoint.
Yeah.
What my vision is solving it, and it's here, is solving it from a soul standpoint.
Well, since you are a business owner and you understand the game, I mean, a
Right.
10-figure business is no joke, right? So
Yeah.
let's talk about
Eight figure, yeah.
Sorry, you said 10. It's okay.
Yeah.
We'll do
Yeah,
10. 10. We're doing 10.
10 is this next business.
We're just manifesting 10.
Yeah, no, 10 is this business.
I love it. So let's talk about some of the employee side of it.
Okay.
I want to be able to manipulate everything that Joe does, because I want to. So if I remind Joe he was supposed to do 3 edits on videos today, I just want to say 5. Right? I just want to say, oh, you know what? The learning model said he really wanted to do 5 today, so Joe can give me 5 cuts today. Is that cool? Can we at least get that one thing?
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I wanted to, Joe. You know I would too.
What's beautiful about this too, man, because I love that it's like communication in business becomes one of the hardest challenges at times. And one of the hardest, what we're finding is that people have an easier time sharing with an agent that they develop a relationship with. So the agent's name is Athena. Athena is this beautiful AI agentic agent that we've built throughout. So we're not a company that's built technology and then put AI in it. We are an AI company that's built technology with it.
Got it.
It's very different. So, and we have such an advantage being in this moment, in this place. And then you take my human experiences that I've had and what I've witnessed with other people as I've studied this and implementing that, because that's where AI becomes incredible, is when you have a vision or a problem or something that's deep that you like, this is what I desire to create into reality to solve that. That's what now that you can do. And so I've spent the last 18 months, 18 hours a day, as you were saying, building this. So on the business side, one of the biggest parts I had was organizational chart. You have CEO, COO, or, visionary integrator. And then you have, everybody in these other places. Was you could go in a leadership meeting. We have the whole plan. We have, this is what we're doing. We're rolling it out. By the time it gets down to, depending on how big your org chart is, down to a lower level or even in different managers, they heard it different. And then people don't understand why, the what, and the how, right? So they may understand 2 of those, but if they don't understand how their role makes an impact into that bigger vision, a lot of times people will check out.
So this is a little bit lower level than where you're going, but we use what we call Patriot AI on all of our Monday meetings.
Yeah.
And really what it is, we can go on tangents all we want as a team, because we have a pretty decent sized team and everyone just goes on tangents all the time.
Yeah,
so we usually hit an hour when we should have only talked for 2 minutes.
Yeah, right.
But what that does is it actually just bullet points what the main goals are for that week or for each department. And it just populates an email and sends it to everybody automatically. We don't even nobody does anything, right? So that we just bring that on to the platform. It listens to everything. It gets right to the bullet points of what we're trying to accomplish. And then it sends out an email reminder of what the main purpose was for that and what we're trying to accomplish for the week. I loved that. So it's kind of the same thing, because sometimes people will forget. Right. So you're smiling. So go ahead.
No, it's beautiful, because imagine how many emails do you get?
Oh, bro.
Right.
Every 20 minutes, I stop and chase emails. Yeah.
And maybe something in that email was important to you, but didn't translate to somebody else in the same way, or they focus on something else. Well, what's great about the system that we build is exactly for that. Every employee has their own Athena. So every employee, and then you have Aria, a CEO that has over everything. But Aria every morning briefs them with what the mission of the company is, what their to-dos are for the day, what's happening and why, and they communicate. So Aria also helps them with these tasks. So not only is your employee supported, but now they're being amplified. So the productivity maybe right now is 1x or maybe even less of an employee. Mm-hmm. We can get that up to, let's say, 10x. And so now with the same organizational count, you can 10x your productivity, which allows you to raise revenue, lower the bottom line, which is more money into the door. Or, and this, it's not too lower count, but sometimes that would be a byproduct of that as well. But for me, what this does is it amplifies every employee to get the most out of the human side of what they're doing. And the AI, their AI agent that's with them, Athena, takes care of all the nuances. Mm-hmm. But if they're having issues with something, now they don't have to go, because I see you running around all over the place. Now they don't have to end around and go try to communicate. They just tell Aria, and then Aria will communicate up the organizational chart so that they know what's going on, why, and then they can come in and help solve that or communicate a little bit differently, right? Mm-hmm. So, and we see that a lot in training. So you could have 5 different managers that are all going to train somebody a different way on the SOPs. Well, with this, it also does a training. So that everybody's consistent around what the messaging, core values, the why, the SOPs. You don't have those breaks that are happening. But they're not having to go to 8 different places to find this stuff. They have their life OS, their business OS all on this one dashboard that they just click a button. It's the life side. They click a button. It's the business side. And the employer doesn't see in between so that they can be honest on both sides.
What's crazy when we're talking about this at dinner, I think I kind of brought it up, right? So let's talk about it from a private equity play. I think a lot of companies are getting rolled up right now, right? So yeah, but let's like on the construction side, we use that as an example because it's relevant for me. You have HVAC, you have roofing companies, you got electrical companies, they're all being rolled up, right? And a lot of times there's certain systems that if these companies do not have, then they're not going to get rolled up, right? Because you have to have a company that pretty much runs on its own and doesn't necessarily need that CEO to sit in that place to manage it all the time. Right. But when you look at a PE acquisition, they usually have the CEO stay on board for 3-5 years, whatever. And there's certain thresholds they got to hit and they get exited, right? What have you. The thing that I can see this kind of going is that if you aren't using this system at some level to manage your employees or manage systems and manage and communicate for transparency, compliance. I mean, this list goes on what this can do.
It goes on.
All the way down to broker dealers, right? If they're communicating from a wealth management side, they have to track all of their emails. This system I can see kind of keeping everybody compliant and keeping everything relevant. I'll use this as an example. We're utilizing AI in some cases. I'm totally spilling the beans to actually write some of our securities offerings, and we're sending it to our securities attorney to review it. And our attorney is calling us going, how did you do this?
Yeah.
Right. And they're going, this is so updated to the relevance of the current compliance and guidelines. Like, this is better. Like, we're going to lose our job if we're not careful. Right. So we're working deals with our attorneys now because we're doing a lot of the heavy lift, which we're going to be more relevant on compliance because we're utilizing AI to scrub the SEC. Right. So the list goes on. My point to this is that if you have a company that has that high level of compliance and it goes all the way down to your employees, right? If this system isn't being utilized at some level, then that acquisition probably won't happen. This will almost become a requirement.
Oh my God. There's so much to unpack.
You and I I could bet you and I can talk for hours of how deep this could go.
One thing is, so to unpack it, because you said a couple of really powerful
We're going to have
questions.
to have you on this next year and find out how far this has come.
Oh yeah. Because there's, what we talked about is the operating system, right? For the business. And it doesn't just go, each employee has an AI. There's an organizational chart of agents as well. So there's one for legal, there's one for your sales CRM, there's one for your accounting. There's one that the thing is Genergy AI is the brain. So sales, accounting, legal, all the operations,
bookkeeping.
Yeah, they are all out here. Well, with Genergy AI, guess what? They all report back in. So if I showed you a little graph, they would all be out here, all these things. They all bring all that data and information. So let's say your sales guy is banging out a bunch of calls, right? Now he has that whole CRM. Well, this connects. So it connects to the CRM. It gives all the data for projections, not based on what your sales guy is telling you, actually what the follow-up has been, what the engagement's been, what the the
So this
history
can
has
create
been
workflows, follow-ups, lead scoring,
all
communicating,
of it.
automatic
and
text
even
message.
training.
So I can eliminate pretty much, well, I can bolt onto an existing CRM.
So you can either bolt on the Go High Level or
which
any,
we use.
right. Any of those are connect, or we'll eventually be rolling out all of those underneath.
So
well.
this system can roll into other systems and communicate with all of them. So you've figured out a white label way of, dude, but you're tailoring it from a corporate side down to the employee, down to a personal side.
Right. That's it.
Got it. Yep.
Yeah. That way, because what we find is like people have 30 apps, they may use 3, and employers paying for 20 of them, and they're wasting their money, and people they don't appreciate that.
That happens.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of different studies by these big consulting firms, but basically always employers think that everybody's happy. It's like 85% of employees are happy. Actually, only 50, Deloitte just did one of those, like 52% are actually happy, right? Like think that their employers care about their workplace health.
Yeah.
And so this is one way to do that while taking care of your employees and amplifying the stuff that matters with the employer, which is save money, have money go to top end,
productivity,
and have bottom end dollars go and mitigate a lot of the risk. So you were just talking about, let's say, you're an investment fund and you have these regulations. Well, we have agents that we can tailor towards and train them for what those regulations are, so that we ensure that there's those paper trails in place.
So let's act as if this mic doesn't exist right now, because I'm going to tell you about what we've created, and I want you to tell me how this will bolt onto it.
Okay.
So we're going right into this.
Yeah, let's go.
This is actually one of the cigars tonight. This is where I was going to take this conversation.
Yeah, let's go.
So Joe and I have been working on, how long have we been working on the Garland method? A couple of years. Been chipping away at this. So the coaching world, I'll be straight up. Some of the coaching that I don't want to be branded as a coach. Yeah, right. I just don't, right? Yeah. But there is a component to my side of the business that keeps people out of hot water, right? So the Garland method that we created, we're not even putting the name Paradyme on it. This is an individual person or operator or developer. What we're doing is we're saying, hey, look, and if you look at like CrowdStreet, Realty Mogul, Realty Shares, like some of those old, bigger companies, what have you, what they've created was pretty much a white label product where other operators can pay them, get on their platform, and they build awareness for raising capital for their projects, right? Debt, equity, what have you. What we can utilize that, but the biggest issue that I've realized is that there's so many people out there, and we're listening, right? 2 ears, one mouth. With all the marketing that we're doing, people come to us and have really great ideas, but they don't really have the track record, or they don't really have the money to put in to actually start up a firm like this, because it's very expensive. So for example, for us to launch a fund, right? Let's say a $20 million fund properly, not including salaries for a back office team with subscriptions and securities attorneys and pro formas and pitch decks and podcasts that you have to maybe pay and get onto, whatever the case may be, you're at 150 grand. No ifs, ands, or buts. And it takes 180 days. I don't care which way you try to scratch that cat, it is not going to work. It's 180 days. So you have a burn rate for 180 days. You have to deal with go back and forth with your securities attorneys, back and forth with your pro forma guy, back and forth, right? And it's a lot of work. I've been doing this for a long time. It's a lot of work. Yeah. And we have been able to figure out, so instead of 180 days, we can launch a pitch deck, a full-blown feasibility study on the investment that's at a very high-level institutional real estate investment risk profile, which is like typically like 40 to 50 grand in 90 days to get this type of feasibility data that we go after. That's how deep we go into our projects. And it's very specific, right? So, and then I'll just the marketing content and meta ads and all the teams and websites and landing pages and click funnels and all the CRMs and creatives, the list just goes on. It is an unbelievable amount of work. We have been able to launch a fund, get it on the platform, create all the things I just listed in 3 weeks for like $6 grand.
Yeah.
Okay. So you go from shaving all that overhead. So this is truly saving about $350,000 if you say you have a team and an overhead and back office and subscriptions and all this stuff. We use for compliance and transparency, we use Juniper Square. So if someone were to open up a firm like this, you'd have to learn all of this. Like you have to learn the systems, create the creatives. It's almost damn near impossible to do it, dude. You literally have to be doing this for 5 or 6 years until the light bulb turns on and you figured it out. So what we're doing is we're saying, hey, look, if you come in, what I'll do is I'll sit on your advisory board. You pay me an upfront fee. I will literally build this all out for you, utilize my background in debt equity, help you structure it, marketing properly, building the awareness, get onto my platform, raise the capital, use my back office, and then use our attorneys, use our CPAs, use our, all of our compliance officers, use all of our stuff. I will literally provide you resources down to contractors, subcontractors, contracts, like literally say, hey, this is my secret sauce. I want to give this to you. But where the reason why I like it so much is because I get to help people actually do what their dreams are. Because some of these ideas that people come to me, that what they're trying to build are really cool things that actually help people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I wish I can help you, but you need to, I don't have the time to coach you into this. It's going to be 250, 300 grand, bro. Like, do you have that money to even put in to create the business model? And then now we got to deal with employees. So it's almost impossible for me to help somebody.
Yeah.
And with my time as limited as it is,
I watch you. Yeah.
there's no way, but my heart is to try to help some of these guys.
Sure.
So I'm like, look, how about this? Like, it's going to be so much cheaper to just bolt onto my back office. We'll do all the heavy lift but we'll set you up with all the groups. Make sure you don't stand on landmines, right? So you're smiling. I want to hear this. I think we can, with how my systems I'm trying to pitch here, with those systems, that will help the new operator, the one that I'm communicating with, can now take everything that I just created and go underneath his brand and have him help his downline. But it also helped for the transparency of compliance and bookkeeping and tax prep and filings and K1s for your investors. We have 400 clients. It's an undertaking to issue tax documents.
That's an undertaking.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
So so I can see how this can have a direct correlation to that. But one day I plan to exit.
Yeah. Plan to exit.
And so when you go to exit, people are going to want to see where the bodies are buried. They want to know how you operate, what have you. You're literally turning over an operating system.
Yeah.
And how it works from a corporate side, not necessarily from an employee side, but from a corporate side. But what happens when you roll up? Those buyers typically want to keep your employees, your executive team, what have you. And so to keep the executive team excited, happy, and keep everything under the same rhythm, it's really important to have something of this nature.
And that's how you get the multiples. Right. So, and then if you can be a tech company as well in a way, where everything's streamlined, like I've always ran EOS, Entrepreneur Operating System. So a lot of that's built into the program as far as on the business side. But what you just talked about is one of the things that that's what started this wedge is my whole thing was to impact men, like CEOs, performance coaching, doing that. But there was nothing that I saw that got as granular and saw the world in the way that I did. Mm-hmm. No services, no products, no SaaS technology, anything that was developed. How this solves what you're building and really amplifies it so that you can have the biggest, impact and really clone yourself in multiple different ways so people get that same one-on-one connection and that stewardship without time that you don't have.
Yeah.
Right. And so how we do that is we white label what our product is for the Garland
method.
Yep. Yeah, I love that. Garland method.
Yeah.
Powerful.
Yeah.
And so then everybody that's in there, we take your SOPs, what you've done, and instead of you can have the account, you can have all that stuff, but that's already built in to the system. Mm-hmm. Now they're saving even more time and money, right? So what you're offering them, that value just 10x.
Well, there's where I think a lot of the fruit is. Like if I genuinely want to help these people, just like you launch anything, right? There's going to be learning curves.
Right.
It'll be a learning model that's going to educate me on how to be more efficient to use that to run my business and then help that other next person. So I'm sitting there going you know what? Let's say I have a step-by-step process. Okay. Yeah. Engage with the securities attorney or, find a property, engage with the securities attorney. What project can you build here? Right. There's all these little steps. I can create those steps. That's no problem. We've already built it all out. However, are there things that we could be more efficient at that this will learn and then give us that advice?
Right. For sure. So one example of it is I have an AI that every day scrapes all the grants that are out there that apply, and it has all of our data. Everything that we're doing, our mission, the why, how we're positioning ourselves. And so it goes through and it scrapes every single day, all the sites for grants that we would qualify with the NIH or whatever it is. And it says, here's a percentage that you, align with, percentage of success. This is what it goes, and it will write the grants because it has all that data built in. Which is
better than probably an attorney at the moment.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I can sit here and try to prompt it, whatever I want. But the most powerful thing we can do as we train it is to ask the questions. And then it goes, seeks out and finds the answers. And then we, as from our human experiences, help curate that. So what we would do is we would sit down in one of the areas of aspects as far as, if it's getting entitlements or whatever it be, or even searching out title companies for properties in certain areas, we would train the agent that's built inside of there that also knows everything else that you have going on. To do that exact thing. So the more specific we can be with that one agent, the better it can do at its job.
So have you been watching some of that stuff that's going on about Claude and CoStar? You know CoStar because you're in the game.
Yeah, of course.
Dude, Claude, they're like saying, why ever pay $20,000 a year for CoStar when you could pay for Claude for like $500 and it'll give you way more information, way more data than CoStar will ever.
So then it's
the same thing.
Right. But then it becomes, one is privacy of our data, right? So is our data protected? Now, if I have multiple people on there, are their data protected? Do you have security walls behind that? And that's going to become more and more prevalent, especially if you're like, everybody's using Claude in the company or OpenAI and it's fragmented. One, you don't have protection over the data in the company. What's going out with the SOPs, where that's going, is it open loop,
facts.
Right? So having that proprietary data protected, that's something
a value
people
add right there.
People are not even aware of that right now. And it's not just, it's one on the business side, which is a huge one, but what people are going to start waking up to is on the personal side.
Well, think about what you can ask ChatGPT. What are our competitors, or what are they doing better than us?
Right.
On whether it's our website, it's crazy.
So now you have, so I have an agent that does competitor analysis. So it's always looking, it's diving in, seeing what the competitors are doing, how it compares to what we've built. And it knows, like, I don't have to explain it to it. It's in the system. So it knows it. And then it's giving us suggestions of different things. So now I can, what used to take maybe 5 years can now take what you just said, 1 year, or instead of 6 months, take 1 week. Like it's really such an amplifier, but getting the system set first, ensuring all the data is protected, and then really utilizing it so you're not having all that fragmentation. Because right now that's the biggest problem. And that's where I see the biggest, win that we can create for people is just, we have so much draw.
Dude, this can go, my mind is spinning, bro.
Yeah.
Because think about COVID, how many people were working from home? And then Elon Musk is like, no, I want people back in my office because we want the collaborative side. Totally. And then he also said, look, all these people that are basically getting paychecks and not even really working. Right. And we all know every company had that. Right. But this can help them verify productivity, give us notifications, who's working, not working. I mean, it's a whole thing.
You just hit it on the head there too. And it does it in a way that doesn't feel like you're being watched. It feels like you're being helped. So that's the whole point of, like, nobody wants to be watched, but we do want to be helped. And so how I'm positioning this is for every employee is it's an amplifier, but it helps management, it helps the C-suite, it helps the owner of the company, the board, whoever it may be. Everybody is getting real data.
I just had this like reel of all these types of people in the world this could help. I mean, kids in college. I mean, dude, the list goes on.
So
kids in sports. Dude, I can see this all the way through.
And it's all built on the same engine, right? So I spent the last 18 months, 18 hours a day building this engine, all the substrate, the semantic memory, everything that's built within this. And I'm constantly improving it because this is my life work. Like, this is my legacy that I'm leaving here on this earth. Like, right, I don't have my own kids that I'm like, this is my mission. God, when I was on that balcony about to end my life, God gave me this message. And then I started going down to Mexico, building homes for families, volunteering at the orphanages. And my bigger mission is in the next 10 years to build 1,000 homes for families, 100 learning centers, and our technology is going to be built into those learning centers, and then impact 1 million lives. And now it's to bring this to a $4 billion company. And the reason that, like, monetary matters is because with that, it can create those other impacts. And so that is like every moment that I'm like, I don't drink. I don't like, I'm up at 3:30 in the morning. Like everything in my life from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed is curated around this outcome.
This is cool.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't wait for even after this podcast and how far this can go.
Yeah.
I would, honestly, I want you to use us as a guinea pig in some cases, just in my space, right? Because that alone is its own atmosphere. And then, like I'm going to introduce you to a couple other guys that I want you to work with.
Yeah.
And I want you to kind of create a completely another movement with that atmosphere, all the way down to big real estate teams.
Bro, that's already.
Bro, I can see this on a whole nother level.
It's huge for that because you got everybody that's in there that are 1099, and it's hard to have that connectivity and that coaching, that training. And you'll see people that are like all about it one moment, but then they die off. But from leadership, we don't have that connectivity where it's like we have accountability to keep them there. This helps us understand what they're doing and how they're doing it and where they are, where they can get direct access to the training that they need, be engaged with the team. So I didn't talk about, there's a whole community aspect built into this as well. So whether it's you're white labeling it or if it's just an overall community, it's not like Facebook or Instagram where there's a bunch of ads and fake accounts and bots. There's none of that. But there's community, there's engagement, it's all like.
But it's tailored to the people you choose to be in there.
Right, and and so if you have, let's say you're curating it for your business. Let's say you have an enterprise company, you have all these employees. It will even match up people by their interests, right? So like make recommendations. Hey, you should connect with this person. What that does is the more that people are connected in the business, the more retention you have.
Dude, I bet you, dude, this is insane. This can go just, like I said, this is rabbit hole after rabbit hole. Bro, this is crazy.
And so that's why I said 30,000 feet. So the whole human experience to a blade of grass. That's what and when you log in, like, and I'm doing a big UX update right now on the design, but when you log in, it's like, it shows you all the way. You click in and there's more data. Then you're like, oh, let me find out more about that. No, this person.
You can just drill into each.
Drill all the way down, all in one place. And then I want to go from my business dashboard to this. Just click a little, like a little bubble, like your phone, right? You just slide it. You just click a little bubble, or you slide it over, and then you're on a whole new dashboard. Now I want to see my finance. Click. All right, here's my accounts. Oh, I want to see what's going on in the account. Oh, I want to see what my budget that versus what I spent this month. Boom. Click. Now I see that. Oh, what actionable items can I take? Click. Here's an alert. You're spending X on this. Like you can cut that. It makes recommendations. Like it's not. None of this is passive. Let's understand that real. That's really important because we got enough passive stuff. Yeah. This is all proactive.
The stuff that you need, that you program it in essence of the fruit in which is the things that matter.
So we can be more present and human in our lives. That's to me the mission with AI.
And a lot of I think a lot of people too, they connect their business to their personal life. I mean, it's just there's no way to unconnect that. Yeah. So there's a lot of people so everyone's different. So I can see how this just can ultimately help everybody just really not forget things and stay on top of their productivity. And then the things that matter to them, it reminds them of the things that matter, just creating new systems, creating new practices, giving them the best of the best, give them an idea of who your competitors are and what they're doing different.
So this is super dope. We connect to all the wearable technology, whether it's your iWatch that you have there, Whoop, Aura, or like now that we have wearable tech, this your glasses, or it's a note taker that carries with you or your plaid. We API connect with them. And so now all your data comes in and that helps the algorithm to understand what's going on. But let's say we're walking around, we have that right here with us. Now our whole conversation is in our Life OS or in our Business OS. So now we have a reference point, like in what you're talking about with the note taker, but it's not out in front where everybody's seeing.
Yeah.
It's with you. It's just a part of you.
Yeah.
Now you're like, oh, what were the most important parts that our conversation that related to, because we're having a conversation. There's parts that you remember. There's parts that I remember.
The amount of conversations I have every day that I wish I could have recorded or saved or got some information on, or I forgot that. Oh, what was that guy's name? I mean, the list kind of goes on. You,
yeah. So that's that, bro. I played football all my life. I probably had 100 concussions, wrestling. And I cannot remember people's name. I'm great with energy. Like I remember people's energy, presence, and their face.
Yeah.
name, it's like I'll say it 3 times. Like I read the books. Yeah, I met Jim Quick. Like, come on, man. Like, help me out here. But I like that's part of why I'm building this is because I'm solving these problems that I have, and I have conversations like you do every single day. We're in these environments. We love talking to people. We love lifting people, and I love really getting to know people. The problem is I get to know somebody and then I forget what their name is, but I remember the other stuff. It's like I desire to remember, right? So this helps with that.
Dude, it's almost like where to begin.
Yeah.
So these are one of those things that it becomes a way of life. And you know what's funny is that's really exactly how you're supposed to consider AI.
Yeah.
The new way of life. People need to get on. That's why you see all this stuff. It's like, get on the boat. If you don't, you miss it and you're behind, and that's not what you want. Yeah, it's a real thing.
And this makes it really easy to get on the boat. That's what I'm doing. Like, you can get on the boat and try to do Clawbot, which I have that. And you can get all these different, like, you got to download it and program it, and there's security risk and all that stuff around it. And for me, it's like, how do I make it as simple for people? Because that's the point. That's possible. Like, anybody can just log in. Now they have this whole thing. Now they can design it how they desire it to be. And it could be as proactive with them or less, depending on what their needs are and desires. But what it's going to do is help them be a better human being and be able to live in a way that they're not just pulled in 100 different directions. Because I'm tired of that. Like, that's what technology did. That's what this hustle culture does. And I can't help myself but to become obsessive with something. But I have an impossible time to balance everything else around. And so that's what I teach.
What it is, you know how much it can help somebody and help you.
Right.
And you know the power and how much it would help you with all the things that you had been through. So how much can this help other people?
So
and
that's
so true.
Best served to help people with with the afflictions we have is what we become best served to help other people with.
So I don't even know where we can end this, because it's like this. I like, on my mind's running, dude. I don't have people on my podcast where my mind's running like this. It just doesn't, I appreciate because most of the people I have, I already know their lives or what they're going on, and I respect their hustle, or I respect how far they've come in life and business wise and family and so forth. But I am starting to see the big picture here for sure.
Yes, it's beautiful, man. It's there is a moment of time, in this moment right now, that this has not existed. And I get the opportunity, and I timed it perfect as far as like everything that happened in my life and the experience I had set me on this mission. And then I started a whole AI collective because I'm like, man, I need to figure out what's going on here. So I live in San Diego, and I'm like, there's a bunch of brilliant people that are much smarter than me. Let me put them all in a room together and let me learn. And then I took what I learned there, and I just became obsessive about it. And then I built this that I think changes how we interact and the quality of the human experience. Like, end of the day.
Dude, all the way down to marketing firms.
All of it.
I mean, dude,
it connects with all
wild.
of it. Yeah. Yeah. And that's just, I'm just getting started. Like, I look at this, this is every moment of every day. Like, this is focused.
Dude, I would love to kind of help you build an advisory board of just people, like, say you got in the rooms and you listened. I would love to just keep giving you just guys that have different walks.
Yeah, I love that.
That have different passions, different walks, different, And I want to ask you about one other thing that I thought is super, super cool. I wasn't even thinking about it. I just thought of it all of a sudden because you have such a huge heart. I mean, clearly. Let's talk about what you do. Was it down in Mexico?
Yeah. So
let's talk about it, because that is like, dude, look, everyone talks about it.
Yeah.
And everyone does it here and there, maybe once. Yeah. Just to get the experience, but you actually are doing it. So let's talk about that component of your life.
So remember, from that moment I was on my balcony, and I'm like, every day's a bonus day. So the next day I flew down to Mexico, and I went out on this bridge, and I actually did jump, but I bungee jumped. Okay. So when I left, I jumped. I remember hitting the bottom, and it just released. I had no fear when I jumped. I was so calm, and just 3, 2, 1, and I leapt. Yeah. And I have this photo of it. But from there, then I got invited down to Mexico to this orphanage. I'm like, okay, let's go.
Like that same time?
Yeah, like same time. And that started this, like, what I noticed is me just showing up. It wasn't what I brought with me. It wasn't just me being there, and just how they reacted to that.
The orphans?
And yeah. And I grew up feeling like I didn't feel seen. I felt like I was, to know that somebody cared, to know that somebody, like, was everything to them. And I was like, man, this is what life's about. And then I wrote this whole Day Zero gratitude journal. I built this whole experience, this interactive. And I was like, another step towards this where I'm at right now. And I'm like, man, part of what I built with that was like the service retreat. So it's like, okay, I see my whole thing was make gratitude cool again. Like, let's make gratitude cool. Let's make service cool. So then I started bringing people down to Mexico. So during my healing process, and I met this incredible woman that, you know, we have an incredible relationship with, went down there and started building homes for families and then going to the orphanages down there. And big shout out to Mike Sherbakov. He's like you, one of the most incredible human beings. And he was leading. And when he was leading, I was like, man, I just want to study this man. One of the most incredible human beings. I'm like, okay.
His heart, huh?
Yeah, heart. And he was in the Marines. Now he has a huge fund and all around veterans and like,
how cool,
bro. He's just an incredible person. And so then I'm like, okay, well, how do I create that type of impact? And then I started bringing people down. I'm like, okay, people need to experience what I experienced. So now we started bringing people down to Mexico. We take them on a 3-day retreat. In 3 days, you go down there, you meet a family. They don't have a home. They live in a little shack. When it rains, it leaks in there. They're on a dirt floor. They have kids. By the time you leave in 3 days, you built them a full home with electricity, with water. They didn't have either of those before. You went to an orphanage. You played soccer with the kids. You fed the kids. Then you went to an old person, elderly home. And like, that's in 3 days. You built a home from nothing to done. You created this connection with all these families. But then everybody that you went with, you created this lifelong just bond.
Yeah.
But you leave with this, you think, hey, I'm going down there, I'm giving, whatever. But what you take from that is so much more than you could ever give.
It's humbling. It makes you be thankful again.
Yeah. Yeah, just for the little things.
Because everyone's just so focused on the hardships and the pains and the problems and everyone forgets that you're so blessed. Well, that's what that's all about right there. Yeah.
One of the biggest things that always resonates with me is when I go down there, they have really nothing, very little as far as monetary or like homes, cars, all that, but they're happier than we are.
Yeah.
You know?
It's crazy. It's funny you bring that up. I was talking to another guy that said that. He goes, man, I do all these outreach all over the world. He goes, I go down and I watch these kids. They're happier than any other kids I've ever seen. Their marriages are good. He's all, and they literally have they're going days without eating, but they're still happy.
They're still happy. It's funny because we're feeding, the kids one time and like we ran out of pancakes or whatever, and there's eggs and pancakes. And so I had to give one kid, pancakes and the eggs. And I'm like, oh, I got to give this other kid the eggs by itself. And I'm thinking like everybody's like, that kid's going to get mad. And I give it to him. He's so happy he just has the food. Like if there was not, if you gave one kid a toy and then another kid a different toy that was as good, they would have an issue with it, right? And so it just talks about the gratitude when we just are present and we're just grateful for the little things we have. It makes all the difference in the world, and that's what I think. What I'm building with Genergy AI, it really does. And Yesenia, I haven't talked much about her, but she was a part of that whole process of getting the homes built. She goes down to the service retreat. She helps do the Day Zero, the coaching, just an incredible human being. And so it's like, man, when you can attract the right people and you're on a mission, the impact that you can create in this world, like that's the opportunity that we have. That's the legacy that we leave. And it's not when we die, it's every day and every action we create a ripple effect. And that ripple effect, what stems from that is what creates the legacy that we leave behind. And right now, if you're sitting here listening to this, you have an opportunity by any interaction that you have to create some sort of ripple effect that stems from that. And you don't know the conversation that person needed to have, or that little action that maybe didn't mean much to you, but made the world to that person.
And that's why I post as much as I post about just kind of like strength and what have you, because I get the feedback I get from that. It's a lot of, I needed this today, or man, you've been an inspiration, or man, you make me want to keep going, or that was a great verse. It brought back memories, and I get stories. That's the only reason I post the things that I post. Cause it's like sometimes just that one person. And I used to listen to Greg Laurie. I'm a Christian guy. So, Greg Laurie
God is a part of my life too.
Well, I remember we'd have 300, 400, 500 people, and he's grown so much, but he would go, sometimes God just wants one person to see that you matter. So because not everybody needs to come up and give their life to Christ. There may be just one person that is wearing on you right now to give your life to Christ. And that really, because there's time, dude, I renewed my love for the Lord, and I went and redid my stuff, right? I can't even think of the word, but
when did you do that?
This was a while ago. This was probably in I was 24 when I did, right? And nice. So it's kind of been on a track since then. Yeah. But when that happened, it talked to me, and I was like, that made sense. I felt like the love from the Lord going, hey, I'm talking to you, come up here and renew your life, right? And it was the best thing I've ever done. Oh, and it was just, but it's true. Sometimes you on a post, on a conversation, can leave such an impact and change someone's life. And now I'm here talking to a podcast that thousands will listen to about that one thing. And how sometimes you got one person at one post that's inspirational can change the direction of someone's life. And that's why I think I wanted to bring this up, is because you've inspired me. And what did we talk about here? You said my next one's in October, and I'm like, the very first thing I said is like, just give me a heads up. Like I need more time so I can carve it out.
Last time I was like, hey, Ryan,
you want to go this weekend? I'm like, brother, I am just not that guy, man. I wish.
That's why I'm building Genergy AI, bro. So I have a little more organized.
Even my son, my oldest son, I'm like, give me all of your tournaments for the summer, man. I need all of that on my calendar, So, so I'm going to go to that one for sure. And I'm going to drag Joe with me. Last time we went to anywhere in Mexico, he got bitten. He's still swollen from all the mosquitoes. Remember Tulum? That was so bad.
He's going to come back. His wife's going to be like, who is this man that's coming back over here? Who is this guy over here? You have to bring her with you too.
She should. Yeah. You should bring her, dude. That'd be great.
But, that's one thing real quick before we move from that is one thing that I've noticed about everybody that I've interacted with here. They all have some sort of piece of them that is better from their interactions or being around you.
Thank you.
And that's such a great, because being a leader is such a responsibility. Mm-hmm. And sometimes in life we do a great job in that. Mm-hmm. And sometimes in life we're human beings too. And we fail at that. Mm-hmm. And I've had both of those sides multiple times.
I hide a lot. I really know, meaning like because I have to be the strong one. Yeah. All the time. Yeah, I have to be my self-motivator. Yeah. And everything that we do is so sensitive and so much pressure, right? So it's one of those things where I think what happens is I'm one of those people that I can sell peace in a way that makes sense. And what happens is it's like, I've learned that through hard work, but it's okay to work hard. It's okay to be uncomfortable, but that's the only way to grow. So I think what's happened is everybody that has, for the most part, worked for me has come from a hell of a background and story. But it's the ones that had the hardest upbringing, the craziest testimonies that I connect with the most. So of course, if I'm an employer, right, I have to have people that kind of been kicked in the teeth a little bit. Otherwise, I'm just not going to see eye to eye. We're not compatible.
Not cut from the same.
And and that doesn't work. So I really try to as much time as I can with people, getting to know who they are. What matters to them. So that way I can tell that we're all in line, because I don't care who you are. If you have a small team like we do, you're going to get to know every personal detail about their life, man. It's just the way it goes. After a couple of years, you kind of know everything. And I think what I've learned is that I'm nothing special. I just been doing this for a long time, and I have an intuition, and I can tell that the Lord has a hand in every decision I make. So I've actually taken a lot of that anxiety and stress off, knowing that I actually am in this position because He put me in this position. Man. So then there's this set of confidence, knowing that that's my purpose. And as long as I don't have, if I just settle in on that, then I operate comfortably. And then I have an ability to just kind of take my mask off, like we talked before, with my team, and just kind of connect to them at their level. And a lot of the things that they're let's say someone's going through something, I'm like, I know exactly. Let me give you a scenario I went through. And then I give them how I got out of it. And now they have someone in their life that has lived the exact experience that they're feeling at that moment. And then they have a direction of how to get out of it or how to overcome that. I had a little thing they started this gym, and she had gone through so much, and she would come to me and ask me all these things, which I do. I said, listen, you have to go through this season. And one thing I will tell you, if you think about it, think of every hardship you've ever went through in your life. Are you thankful a couple, 3, 5 years down the road? Are you happy you went through it? And she goes, I am. I said, you're not going to see that right now, but one day you're going to look back and go, I'm so thankful I went through that, because what I've learned, who I am, how I love now, how I fixed myself, how I've identified things in myself, whatever the case may be, has been that. So what I'm realizing, and this is crazy, so I've never said this on a podcast. If you know my personal life, and you see the rest of my team, everyone has really good relationships, great marriages, they're great parents, they're great everything. I feel like I'm a little bit of that sacrificial lamb. But you know what? I'm okay with it. Because I look at everybody and I'm going, you know what? But I've had that same love. I've raised kids. I've, held my baby when he was born. I've didn't sleep at 3 a.m. I've actually had the experience. I can sit there and say, no matter what, I've actually lived. It's like better to have loved than lost, and better have,
I never loved at all.
Yeah. And so it's almost like I've had so many amazing, wonderful experiences that I'm so focused on the blessings that I don't lean back on the hardships. I'm like, no, I'm so thankful I shared that type of love. I'm so thankful I had that in my life. Yeah. I'm so thankful for the hardships I've been through, because it's only making me a better person for you. And if I can have an impact on people's life like that, then I am so comfortable being open about my personal life, because it's like, it is so crazy how much that helps people. So whether you on social media, you get all the naysayers, but there's people that I connect with that I'll run into and go, I've listened to your podcast. Like, I thank you for being so honest and real, whatever. And it just empowers me to want to keep doing that. So that's why I'm so glad you shared your story, because it does paint a picture on what you're trying to build, because the passion and the story is what's always going to make that business run. No one's just going to wake up one day and go, I'm going to run a business. Like, no, there's got to be some sort of purpose, depth behind that, because you're going to want to throw in the towel and quit. Yeah. What you're creating has so much passion behind it. Because I just recently, we don't need to talk about know what you've sacrificed recently to build this business too. Like that is, I know it sounds weird, but this is why I would invest into you. Because you've had to sacrifice so much to build what you love and your passion. But what's awesome is that what you're doing is helping people. So because you had to sacrifice so much does not mean that it wasn't worth it. Right. It's just, you're in that mix. You got to keep pushing forward. And that's why I'm so glad you came on this podcast, bro. You're a good man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
Thanks for the story. I did not know about your father.
Man, we have that.
I don't want to hang on that.
No, it stems together, man. And I think it's like when you go through these experiences, just like in the Bible, all the apostles that made the biggest impact, they all had the most troubled history.
They really did.
They all had the most troubled history, and that's what made their story so epic. And that's what we have the opportunity to do through our trials, tribulations. If we're here for a calling and we're pulled to it, God's going to make sure that we're the right ones for that.
Yeah.
And so that's what the stuff we've been through. But I also hope, man, that you understand too, just like, I want to be able to reach out to you when I'm going through those hard times, that you can always reach out to me, brother, because I love you, man. Like, I appreciate that. The more, every ounce of you is as real as it gets, bro. And I'm so grateful.
Yeah, me and Joe talked about that. When we went to Tulum, we think there's a couple of groups that we've met that we just absolutely love. Yeah. Joel is one of them. We love Joel. Joel is what a great businnesman. Yeah. So we work with him now. Oh, yeah. And then what I'm talking about, right? Joel. Yeah. So I kept these Einstein, something like that. Yeah. Joe spearheads that, and it was you know, and it was so cool because it was that random night at 2 a.m. that we're just, everyone's out partying and we're like, nah, we're too old for this, man. Yeah. We're just going to sit back and kick it while everyone else is getting loose. So we're just going to go do business. And we sat there, and then sure enough, here comes a drunk guy and like totally ruined the whole thing. Where's all the food at? We're like, you totally just ruined the vibe, bro. We were so kicking it, man. I looked at you, I'm like, well, I guess we're going to bed now. This guy's out of his mind. But well, dude, thank you for being here. I think what's going to happen is I'm going to get so much feedback from this one. I'm going to bring you on in probably every 90 days. I'd love, because I'm actually going to I want to use the product. So as you're growing, if you can use me a little bit as a guinea pig, we'll grow with you. But I think if you think about the financial industry, right? Yeah. How this can help the financial industry from compliance and communication and transparency. I think that alone itself is so powerful that right there, you can just create it for that if you want.
It's
to,
just
and
a
do well.
game changer. Yeah. It's an industry game changer. The way people think about business, their lives, how everything's integrated together. Because I think still AI has been very fragmented for people. They understand they can do a chat, maybe they connect a couple things, but to bring everything under one place, like I yet have seen that, and so it's like. That's a mission. That's the beautiful part.
Yeah.
That's what now, like the way that before we wrote letters, then we, did faxes, and then we did emails.
Now we're doing voice to text.
Now we're doing voice to text. But it's like everything goes through this evolution and we don't even think about it until it hits.
Yeah.
And then at first we are resistant, and then it just becomes a way of life.
Yeah. Well, when you see the positive impact is when you start becoming a believer.
Right.
And, I think that's another big component is how much it'll help my team personally. Because, my business, that I can see that. That's kind of a given. But from a personal side, I'm excited to try to use it too because I can use I feel, bro, I'm so busy. It's crazy. I haven't even taken a shower today.
Yeah,
I took one this morning, but like it's been, I worked out and running around all day. It's in the heat. I'm like, I need to take a shower.
You burn
what time is it right now? It's 9:15 at night. You know what I mean? And I got here at 6:30.
We are so alive.
Oh, bro. Yeah.
We are so alive, bro.
So but anyways, the point is that this is where I think life is going, and people need to embrace it. Yeah. And I am hoping that this can be a highlight for people, and we just continue to update as you grow and go, and really how much it actually helps people with a positive impact. That's massive. And I really do like that health and wellness side. I also think the privacy thing really is a thing we need to carry it. Yeah, that's important. Yeah. So cool. All right, man. Well, thank you for joining me today.
Yeah.
We need to go have a cigar.
Let's do it, baby.
All right. So how can people get a hold of you? This is important. So give them your handle on your social media. Drop your phone number if you want, and also your website.
Yeah. So handle on social media on Instagram is at Garin, Garin Heslop, Heslop. So that's it, at Garin Heslop.
So it's your own brand, man. I love it.
Yeah.
Personally.
So I have Garin.ai as well that I'll be rolling out, but Ginergy.ai is our website for the platform, and that's GYNERGY.ai.
So like energy, but Ginergy.
Yeah, like energy, but so GY, yep. And then like synergy with the G.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's the simplest way.
Cool.
Yeah. And then if you want to reach out, just shoot me a message on IG or an email at Garin@Ginergy.com.
Perfect. I love it. Well, thank you for joining me, man. Yes. This is killer.
Grateful, bro.
That was a great one. All right, guys. Thank you for listening, and on to the next.
Let's go.